Hello there. Welcome back to the Sky Guys podcast. We are catching up on some Star Wars stuff that's been happening over the last few weeks. Second week in a row, Pete Consadori is not here with us. He's on vacation. Mike Phillips here with you. With me, as always, the vacation planner of this podcast, Nick Fraietta, is here. Nick, how are you?
Doing well. Here to talk some Lego Star Wars, and it's not meant to be taken serious, and it's funny. So it's a good time.
It is a lot of fun here. I got to say that. And you missed us last week. We talked all about the big Andor trailer and delay dump. So, Nick, if they missed that podcast, they got to go back and check that out.
Yeah, absolutely. You can find us. If you found this episode, you can easily find the other one. But you got to check that out. We did a deep dive into the trailer, and we start talking about the show coming up, which we're getting. I don't know, 5-6 weeks away.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we dive into the Lego Star Wars stuff here, you can always check us out on the podcast. You can search for the Sky Guys on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, Amazon, all the usual suspects. Just search for the Sky Guys, your favorite podcast platform. Our episodes there. And Nick, they can also follow us on the Instagram if they are so inclined.
That's right, at Sky Guys Podcast on Instagram. And Pete usually says, if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? And I'll say that since he's not here. So what are you doing if you're not subscribed to the Instagram and the podcast?
Yeah, I mean, if you're not subscribed to the podcast, I mean, I got some words for you. You should be.
Yeah.
Should be subscribed, and you can also check out the YouTube page. Mike Phillips on YouTube. I usually bring in the graphics and the props. Like I got some Legos here. I got Grogu here with us today.
I don't think I have any.
Yeah,
I have Vader's helmet actually, but I'm still in the box. I'm probably not going to open it ever.
yeah, and Pete's usually the other Lego guy here. So like, I will when he comes back next week, we'll get his take on this thing.
Yeah, I do have the Vader helmet though.
Yeah, I built the Boba Fett helmet. I still have that floating around somewhere.
Do you think it holds value in the box? Probably not, right?
I think the more expensive sets hold value in the box because they do
Okay.
retire the sets after so
Maybe
long.
maybe I will build it then.
Yeah. I think if you have like one of these like 150 $200 sets and you don't build it out of the box, it does gain value.
Like if you had the whole Hogwarts,
I do have the whole Hogwarts. I've not built it yet.
maybe that's one of the ones that would hold value.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
All right. So let's now get into this Lego Star Wars. We did record this on the same day as the Andor one. So we're not going to get into Star Wars news today because we don't really know what the news is at this point of the week, right, Nick?
That's right. Yeah. And it's also been quiet.
Yeah, we're kind of just waiting up to Andor. The preseason got a little longer.
Yeah, right.
All right. Let's talk about the general premise here of this Lego Star Wars on Vacation. It dropped on August 5th on Disney Plus. It's a 45-minute special. Nick, give us the elevator pitch on what this story is.
Well, it looks like the crew, which is um
Post
Finn. What's that?
Rise of Skywalker crew.
Yeah, post Rise of Skywalker crew, which is it looks like we have Finn and Rey and Poe along with Rose, and they're with the droids. I guess 3PO, R2, and BB-8.
And Chewie's there.
And Chewie, that's right. I don't think he has any lines.
No, he's in the hug at the end.
Okay. They go on a summer vacation, and it looks like they're going to the Galactic Star Cruiser. So they must do very well for the war to be able to afford that $6,000 vacation for one night. But yeah, it looks like they're on vacation. It looks like the rest of the crew is more concerned in whatever they want to do, and Finn was expecting it to go a little different and wanted to have a good time, and he kind of gets separated from the crew and is trying to figure out why he can't enjoy himself the way everybody else can enjoy themselves.
Yeah, Finn gets separated and he runs into a bunch of Force ghosts who tell him stories. And this is basically, if you watch the Lego Star Wars Halloween special from last year, it's the same exact format where you get three separate little stories. And then Finn is sort of our main character go along hearing all the stories.
Yep. And the voice cast is, at least for the sequel characters, is pretty much all different. The only person that we have, from what I can remember, who actually plays themselves is you have Kelly Marie Tran does play Rose, and Anthony Daniels plays 3PO, but in part and this and Billy B. Williams actually plays Lando, who is a hologram on the ship, but everybody else is a different character.
Yeah, I mean, I did recognize Anthony Daniels' voice. I'm glad they actually got Billy D to do this.
Yeah, they seem like they're easy to get. They've done a lot of the stuff. Like Billy D did Rebels, Anthony Daniels did Rebels and Clone Wars, so it doesn't seem like they have an issue. But and Kelly Marie Tran came back as Rose, and then as we get a little bit deeper into the show, this episode rather, you get some other familiar voices as well.
Yeah, a lot of the Clone Wars voice acting cast is around in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And we will get to start off here. We see that Finn gets this vacation going here. He gets separated from all his friends. They all go do their own thing. He goes and meets the ghost of Obi-Wan Kenobi here. And Obi-Wan has a fun story about his vacation, which is a working vacation, but it's vacation, Nick.
Yeah, for him it's a vacation, but when he's done, Finn's like, that wasn't much of a vacation. So you get three, I guess, stories. You get one from Obi-Wan, you get one from Anakin
As Vader.
as a Vader, but like a Force. It's his appearance in this is post. Obviously, it's it's Rise of Skywalker, post Rise of Skywalker. So his appearance is after he's turned to the light, but his flashback shows when he was Vader, and then the last one is Leia showing a flashback of her with Han and a young Ben Solo. But the first one, Obi-Wan, is Obi-Wan goes undercover to what are they getting? Coaxium?
Yeah, he runs in. He's basically at the bar on Tatooine. We're assuming this is like, and no, none of this is canon, but we'll just say for argument's sake that it's post his show where he's hanging.
It looks like it's right after his show.
Yeah, because like he's hanging out. He runs into a rebel spy basically who he does a Force Jedi mind trick, sends some stormtroopers way out there. She recruits him to go help steal some coaxium back from Jabba's palace. Jabba's having a birthday party. He goes undercover, sings some karaoke. This is actually very funny.
Yeah, he sings some karaoke. And then you see a lot of people in there. There's obviously Jabba and Bib Fortuna and Boba Fett's in there and Max Rebo's in there. Can't think if I'm missing anybody else, but
Salacious Crumb is there.
Who's that?
Salacious Crumb is there.
Yeah. A lot of familiar faces in there, and Obi-Wan sings some karaoke to like basically create a diversion, and then they escape with the coaxium, and and that's about it. And he's she says thank you, and he goes on his way. But for him, it's like that was a vacation. It shows how how crazy of a life Obi-Wan had.
Yeah, and also I'll mention here that Boba Fett is sort of the villain of this thing because Jabba sends Boba Fett after them after the coaxium gets stolen here. And I thought it was funny. We got the Book of Boba Fett music in this thing when he's chasing Obi-Wan on the speeder.
Yeah, it's these Lego things are not. They're not bad, but they're not good. Like you don't recommend this to somebody, be like, this is good television, but they're funny.
Yeah, it's good. Like if you have young kids or if you have like younger siblings, they'll get a kick out of this.
Oh yeah, I mean I got a kick out of it too, and but they would I think of it as though it's silly, it's stupid, but they would actually like enjoy it.
Yeah, it's just like silly summer fun basically, and then
yeah,
at the end of each story, Finn gets a lesson here. So we're gonna talk about these lessons to go along here. So Obi-Wan's lesson is have fun in the moment. I think it's something we strive to do in this podcast.
Absolutely. You should always how to have fun in the moment.
It's a good lesson from Obi-Wan.
Yeah, and you think about it in the sense of where Finn is at in this time. It's all right. We need to do this. We need to do that. He's planning the whole vacation and doesn't realize you just got to enjoy the vacation. Yeah. Don't plan everything out. Don't try to get everyone together. Just have fun.
I mean, he's not Poe, where Poe is basically trying to plan the entire itinerary and any free time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Poe is like me on the trip.
Planning everything, writing everything out.
Yep.
Yeah, and then we lose, and then they all go their own ways. And Finn was just checking everybody in. He was just trying to. It seemed like Poe made the itinerary, but it looked like Finn was like really trying to follow it in a way. And I think what his valuable lesson he learned from Obi-Wan was, you don't need to follow it. You can do whatever you want, and you can have a good time because you're on vacation.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing we didn't mention here is that this is sort of canonizes a little bit the point that that was cut from episode 9 that Finn's supposed to be Force sensitive. And we basically see that Finn is like on his way to becoming a Jedi. That's why all these Jedi Force Ghosts find him.
What's funny is I don't think it was cut. I mean, I know it technically was, but I feel like they're running with the impression that that's what they did. And it's just like, you didn't tell us that. And we're supposed to assume. And I don't know, it's just very strange movie.
It's also in canon with the other Lego holiday special where Rey is teaching Finn about the Force.
Yeah.
So I guess it's in that cinematic universe,
Yep.
the Lego cinematic universe of Star Wars. All right, let's go now to the Anakin vacation story, where like basically Finn ends up wandering onto a shuttle, gets brought down to Scarif to go to a beach, and finds Anakin there. And then Anakin's vacation story basically is that Vader and the Emperor are having fun on Empire Day. They go on vacation to Scarif. Palpatine basically is being a douche. He's like wants to leave. Then he hears there's a contest to be declared rulers of the beach. Palpatine decides to cheat. He and Vader use the Force to win. Then he throws a temper tantrum because they get a participation trophy. He decides, I'm just going to burn the whole thing to the ground and make this the base for Rogue One.
Yeah, that was my favorite one, to be honest with you.
That was just funny watching him use the Force to dominate like beach volleyball and shuffleboard and all that.
Yeah. And yeah, just how everyone knows him as the Emperor, and then they had to hide their identities, and at the end they found out it was the Emperor and Vader, and everyone got upset, and then he was like, all right, I'm making this a base.
Yeah. Yeah, and poor Vader actually wanted to have the vacation. He's like, you're gonna build the storage port here. You're gonna have like a transition tower here. It's like this is like, yeah, you could make a joke that like, oh, this is actually happening in Rogue One. This will be funny.
It's kind of stuff that it's like funny, but it's almost more realistic than real Star Wars is, because like the Emperor, he won. Isn't he really bored? Like, what does he do? Like in these 19 years between 3 and 4, what does the Emperor do? Does he have paperwork to fill out, like stuff like that? Like, if you want to think of it as like a realistic thing, I know you're not supposed to because it's a world with wizards and laser swords, but like he's the ruler of a government. He must have paperwork and public appearances, and you know what I'm saying? And then this kind of shines light on what it's really like being that person, rather than in the movies where I've said this a million times, when Yoda walks in at episode 3, he's literally just sitting there. He's doing nothing, just sitting in the chair. Like, what is he doing? What does he do all day?
Yeah, this is one. I think that they had fun with this. Where I think Massa Meta walks out with like a form to look at. He's like, "Oh, great! The Senate's squabbling over taxation on trade routes again." And he just basically throws in Massa Meta's face like, "You deal with this. I'm going away."
Yeah, and the voice actor for Anakin was oh god, the one from
Matt Lanter, who does in Clone Wars.
Yeah, Matt Lanter from Clone Wars, and Obi-Wan was James Arnold Taylor from Clone Wars also.
Yes,
Which was
absolutely.
cool to see. And Boba Fett was D. Bradley Baker, which was the clones,
Yes.
which was cool to see.
Yeah, I'm looking at the cast list here, see some other interesting names here. There is like I mentioned that the rebel, who Obi-Wan is helping in the first one, is voiced by Yvette Nicole Brown. Apparently, this character is in a lot of the Lego Star Wars separate things, so they sort of roped her into this.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And I got some. Now we go to the lesson here that Finn learns here from Anakin as in his Vader costume. He says, "Find your bliss, do what you love." Which again, we're kind of doing here on the podcast. I think we're 2 for 2 on the lessons.
Yep. And Finn does that by, or not do that by, but learns that, like I said, Obi-Wan said, "Have fun in the moment." Anakin tells him, "Do what you love." Just because you're on a beach vacation doesn't mean you have to lay on the beach. Some people like lay, or some people say you go to the beach, you got to get sun. People like the umbrella. Like, do what you like to make you have fun, and that's the lesson Finn learned here. Just because you did something that's supposed to be done one way doesn't mean you have to do it that way. You can do anything. You can do something your way to have a good time.
Yeah, like what Ray is up by the pool is reading a Jedi text.
Yeah, if that's what makes Ray happy, reading the text, go ahead. Some people may want to play volleyball. Some people may want to go swimming. Do what you want to do. Some people, like perfect example is, some people go to the beach and they like to really read a book. Some people go to the beach, they like to go swimming, ride the waves, surf. Not everyone is the same. Even though you're in the same place, you do something different at that place to have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we get one last story here where he gets visited by the Force Ghost of Leia Organa, and he tells Finn her vacation story, where basically learn about how Leia and Han take a family vacation with Ben Solo before he goes start his Jedi training.
Yeah, interesting time. And I know Han is just trying to show him all around, and you can see a young Ben Solo getting frustrated. And that's like, I guess that's like a father who just, I don't know if it's he can't give up his memories, or if it's that he's just so excited to have his son share things that he had,
Yeah,
because he didn't get to share anything with anybody who was older than him because
yeah,
he had no family.
Yeah, you basically see that like Han doesn't want him. Like they going through Han's memories, they go visit the Mud Planet where he meets Chewie for the first time in Solo, and then he won't let him fly the Falcon. Then we get to Endor for a vacation. We meet this guy who's trying to develop a hotel there named Wick Cooper, who's actually voiced by Thomas Lennon. So he distracts him while Ben goes off and meets some younger kids and goes as his own adventure.
Yep, that's essentially it. It's pretty standard for a plot. You go on vacation with the parents. Turns out it's not what it should be. Escape with some other kids and get yourself into trouble.
Yeah, and Leia and
Happens a lot.
yeah, Leia and Han told things have to settle a land dispute between Wick and the Ewoks. Then they basically said, "No, you're gonna be partners with the Ewoks on the hotel, whatever you're doing here." Ben has to fly the Millennium Falcon. He flies it through the Death Star debris up on the planet here because some douche named Brad basically gets them into a harrowing situation here. Definitely a fun moment for see Ben has to like have his excitement where he gets to actually fly his dad's ship.
Yep, definitely. Would
Yeah,
have been cool. Would have been cool if we got the sequels at that time, maybe.
yeah, it would have been cool. And I also want to mention I forgot in the last story here that the guy who's running the beach competition on this on Scarif that the Emperor invaded.
Weird Al.
Weird Al Yankovic, biggest get for this movie.
Yeah, he's considered the star of the cast.
Yeah, I mean, what's the bigger pull here? Is it getting Weird Al to do this or getting Christian Slater in the last one?
Probably Christian Slater.
Yeah, I mean, Christian Slater leading the Red Gang, I think is more fun than having Weird Al in this spot.
But it was cool to see Weird Al. I think he had a new song debut during it as well.
Yeah, he's singing it. I think like when
Yeah.
the Emperor and Vader show up.
Yep. That's cool.
Yeah, and
It's
then
not the first time he's done a Star Wars song. He did the American Pie song, based on Phantom Menace.
yeah, absolutely. And the last thing here is we get Leia's lesson, where Leia basically, because Finn basically says, I want this vacation because everyone's going off through their own thing. Where like Rey's going to the unknown regions look for Jedi temples. I'm like gonna look for more force sensitive people. Like Poe's going to go train more fighter pilots. He's like, I want everybody to have a good time. And Leia's last lesson is no one's ever really gone. I thought this is a valuable lesson for Finn to learn here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. I guess, actually can't think of anyone that Finn really lost along the way except Han, but yeah.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting though. Before we wrap this up here, I wonder if like any of these plot points that sort of dropped here with these characters, something we could see revisited in future media about like what these people are up to after Rise of Skywalker.
Maybe. I think the only really important thing to take out of these Lego specials is that they're really running with the idea that Finn is a Jedi.
Yeah, they've done that in two of the three now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see maybe we talk about the future Ray show and like our podcast did back in March. Maybe this could be Ray's going off to explore the unknown, really looking for Jedi temples.
Maybe.
Absolutely here. So we do see it ends with the typical happy ending for the kids of the group hug. And I do see like they kind of like I thought they kind of did a good job dunking on the Star Cruiser. I feel like they had a lot of fun making fun of how bad the Star Cruiser experience is.
They kind of did. Yeah, I'm surprised they did that actually, because it's been criticized for the price a lot. But that's normal, and I understand people are going to criticize that. But I'm surprised they dug into it's also not good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
forget that you're spending $6,000, even if it was $600. It's just not a good experience.
Yeah, I mean, I think at one point Poe has them signed for the engineering experience and a tour of the trash compactor that really went all in on digging. Yeah. I loved it.
It was a good time.
It was a good time. So give me a grade on this thing. How would you grade it?
I would give it an 8.
I'd say the same. I think it was solid. Like, I mean, there are worse ways to spend 45 minutes of your life.
Yeah, it was fun. I actually really liked the second story a lot. The first one was okay. The third one was all right. But the second one I thought was really, really good. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was really funny, and I liked watching it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's have some fun here as we do here. Give me your MVP. Who is the best character in this Lego movie?
I think it was Palpatine.
Yeah.
He was cracking me up.
Yeah, Palpatine was a lot of fun. I'm gonna give it to Force Ghost Obi-Wan Kenobi because he has the running his story is not great, but he does have the running like joke throughout the rest of the movie where both Anakin and Leia say like, Obi-Wan told you to have fun.
Yeah, that is funny.
That was funny because, like, stick in the mud Obi-Wan actually is the one who says have fun.
That was funny, but yeah, that's good choices for MVP, LVPs.
Yeah,
Or I guess
who was the LVP in your opinion?
I don't know. Uh,
I would give mine to Brad from the
I
last.
guess yeah, I was gonna say I guess Brad just for being a douche
Yeah.
or Rad, I think it is.
I thought it was Brad, but it makes sense that they don't actually. Oh, it is Rad, voiced by Paul F. Tompkins.
Yeah, I guess him.
But I'm still gonna call him Brad because that's kind of a douchey guy.
Yeah, I'm fine with giving him the LVP.
Yep. And that's pretty much it for what we got here. We'll be back next week because we have some bonus time now because of the Andor delay. We're actually gonna do a Bad Batch season 2 preview early. So I mean, this was something that got lost in the shuffle if we were kind of doing it in the middle of Andor, but since we have time, might as well do it, Nick.
Yeah, it'd be nice to. I'm actually gonna rewatch the show just because I don't remember it that much, and I just it was a little while ago. It was like a year. I've only seen him once. I never went back and rewatched it. We didn't do recaps, so it was just kind of I watched it, I liked it, and then every now and then we were like, yeah, I like the way it's going so far. We didn't, so maybe a rewatch would be nice.
Yeah, we got time, and assuming again, like we don't know for sure if the date's going to stay. We talked about this a little last week if they're going to stay on the September 28th date. Now that Andor could push back, but if everything is on track without this podcast now, you could have another trailer in your like available for the show.
Possibly, possibly. We'll see.
Absolutely, Nick. Thanks for all the time. Really appreciate it. Before I let you go, how can people follow you on the social media streets to keep up what you're up to?
At Nick Fry _9.
All right. You can also follow me on Twitter at mphillips331. That's MPHILIPS331. Coming up this week, just in the Suffering podcast, we have a lot of stuff covered here. We did some jet training camp this week. I got your brother Phil Fraietta is on. You're going to do episode 7 of The Captain. You did the premiere with me on that podcast. Now we're going to get into the finale coverage.
Yeah, I like the show. I'm ready to see it wrap up. I would say as a non-Yankee fan, I don't think people would really like it, to be honest with you. But as a Yankee fan, it's just a trip down memory lane.
Yeah. Also do some Hard Knocks coverage as well. The premiere of that coming out. Pop culture correspondent Sandra is going to be back on the horn there as well. And we'll be back next week. Pete will be back with us as well doing the Bad Batch stuff. But until then, may the force be with you.